Hello, everyone. You're listening to Escape This Planet in audio format. And on this recording, me and BMAT are going to be looking at the upcoming anime seasonals. We have like 20 of them listed here because we're insane. And basically, we're going to be setting up an elimination for the upcoming season. And you can consider this episode 0. We've already looked at the source material, made this big ass post about all these different shows we want to take a look at. This is going to be the first round of elimination. We're eliminating some of this crap before it even gets to episode 1, so this is how this is going to go down. Do we even include Chainsaw Man on this? Because I feel like there's no way, like if we drop Chainsaw Man, I don't think anything else is going to last. Now we have our actual list with our bizarre comedy manga, Yonin wa Sorizori Uso Suku, which I think it's translated to like Our Little Lies or something like that. It is a gag manga that it only had one translated chapter, and I like the characters in it, so it's already going on my list. Like, I'm gonna watch this one.
Yeah, I did like the one chapter, the one that they threw in there. I feel like it has a lot of absurdist comedy vibes that draw from a lot of shit. For some reason, the fact that there's like a ninja in it, like, for some reason, just like makes me think of Kill Me Baby, but it's like it's way more clever than Kill Me Baby. It's like you watch the OP for Kill Me Baby, and it's just like you know what you're getting into as soon as you see and experience that the like cacophony of like shit just kind of happening. It has all this chaos to it, but it has like all this absurdity to it at the same time, and there's all these like characters that have this like very specific like absurd role to them. I got that vibe from this, but this seems a lot like smarter and more focused to it, I guess. So I'm interested. They have like a very funny little setup here where they have like each character kind of has like this balance in this like 4 group here. You got your like fucking alien commando. You got your ninja who's like constantly like fending off like attackers, and like no one notices except for the glasses girl psychic. And then of course you have the crossdresser who like almost feels like the odd one out in the group because he's like the least weird
By anime standards, yeah.
It's like you have alien, ninja, psychic, and then you just got like a crossdresser, and it's like, okay.
I'm rubbing my hands together. If there is one anime I'm praying for to be good this season, I'm like, please, God, let it be this one.
This one has a lot to work with, but it's also just like the studio that's done like almost nothing, a lot of like new staff. It's all up in the air, but I feel like they've got something good to work with source wise. So I feel like there's got to be something like can like pound out of it.
So the next one we got is Akiba Maid Senso.
Good old PA.
This one's gonna be an obligatory one. We have to know.
Yeah, it's another PA work. It's a PA Works original. PA Works originals are always like a dice roll. You never know what you're getting. You never know what the quality is gonna be like. I feel like they're never gonna be terrible at this point. Like I feel like after Gaslit, but I don't think they could ever make something like that again. They like kicked the director out of the studio after that. Like can
you blame him?
Like after he directed and wrote that, like he's gone. Like he's never worked on a PA Works project since. He got like scorned.
Career
ending. He got
anime
exiled. There. So like I feel like if they were willing to like exile this guy out, there's no way that could be that bad.
And the other thing is like there's not a lot of comedies this season, so I'm like I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, there really aren't. Like they're not like straight up. Yeah, not like straightforward comedy stuff. You know, we're dealing with a maid cafe, so we're already dealing with like a kind of a colorful locale, right? And then of course it's in Akihabara, so you know we're dealing with like otaku patrons. It seems like it's hinting that it's gonna be like have some like absurdity to it. They call it like an adult cafe anime or something like that. I don't know what the implication of like the censorship in the PV was. I don't know. They're trying to pull something out of it. I don't know what their approach is gonna be yet. It's gonna be something, and I'm definitely gonna watch the first episode.
And speaking of anime we're gonna watch the first episode of, here's one that I'm not gonna watch the first episode of, Beast Tamer. Nope.
I didn't even preview that one, so
look, if Takashi Aoshima isn't enough to sell me on an anime, it's fucking over. I think I put this manga down faster than anything else I went through, and that includes like the fucking Farmer manga, which I
man.
almost got through the entire first volume. Beast Tamer, I made it through like 2 chapters, and I was like, oh, fuck this. It's so fucking bad.
That one didn't even make it through my preliminary filter, so that's how I knew it was never gonna make it. Like there's blue text all over this thing, but not under Beast Tamer.
This one is just instant eliminated. Like neither of us are even gonna give it a curiosity watch.
No way.
And then we got Blue Lock. Pretty sure I'm not gonna be watching this, but it's probably gonna be on the BMAT list here.
I'm not a sports anime person. Obviously, I talked a bit about that in my writing, and I really haven't watched a lot of sports anime. I feel like all the sports anime I've watched are like dumb. Hanebado, I mentioned that. It's like the weird like drama badminton anime. Very weird anime that I have very, very particular memories of. You know, I really haven't watched any of the like conventional sports anime experiences. But I was curious. I pushed myself to take a look at this one because I was like, you know what? Sports anime is not my element. Why not? You know, take the plunge and see what's happening. And it's really like extreme and over the top. They get called to this like fucking like facility, and like they walk into this facility and it's like 300 strikers, like soccer strikers, and they have to like have like a weird battle royale training and like fighting each other and all sorts of like weird psychological warfare shit. And I'm just like, I can sort of dig it. Like I can sort of dig the like stupid extreme like over the top soccer premise in like a very unethical facility. And like the government's just like shrugging their shoulders and being like, well, if we get like a super awesome soccer player that wins us the World Cup, maybe it's worth it. I liked the manga art. It was very stylistic. It was very like thick. Like there was a lot going on there. I don't know how that's going to translate into the anime. 8-Bit's doing it, and my feelings on 8-Bit are not entirely positive. I don't know. This one seems like its extreme premise might work for it. So I might give it an episode.
One and done.
Yeah, maybe a 1 and done, or maybe a 3 and doneer. I'll see how much I like the first episode, I guess.
So this next one is Bocchi the Rock. Definitely gonna give this one a curious 1 episode watch, because I mean, it's one of the more unique ones from the upcoming season.
It is interesting. It reminded me a lot of Hitori Bocchi, the other anime that has a Hitori Bocchi in it. And then this is like the same thing, but it has a very obvious like band focus, and also the main character is like a little bit more unhinged.
Something about Bocchi the Rock feels more like true to the actual rock spirit of just like a really weird makeup of people making up a band.
Yeah, it's got that like people just kind of coming together and like jamming vibe to it. You got Hitori, the freak Menhera like introvert, and then you got like Nijika, the drummer, who's like probably like the most normal person in the band. Then you got like the weird like I don't know if I would call her gloomy, but what is she, like the bassist? Her character was like hard to get a grasp on, even like reading like through the first volume. Like she shows up and does like weird stuff. She has some like nice moments with Bocchi in the manga. I remember liking those, but I felt like she was like the one character who didn't get like the most I guess screen time in the 1 volume I read. So I'm interested to see how she comes through in the anime. I feel like these are characters that I want to see more of, to see if they really like sell me as a unit. There was chemistry there that I liked. But I felt like 1 volume like wasn't enough to truly like gel it. I like the little moments in there. Comedy obviously is a lot of the forefront of it, and it has some pretty good gags in it. But I do like the little moments of like sincerity that pop up every once in a while. So I'm interested to see the way they kind of balance that vibe in the anime. And especially since it's Cloverworks, who like they have that potential. I feel like they've really got something here that they can really like kind of grand slam if they really go at it the right way.
Crossing your fingers on this.
Oh, Bocchi, don't let me down.
Speaking of things that, okay, this one is pretty much a guaranteed hit here, but Do It Yourself.
Oh, Do It Yourself. That one I was sold on the first viewing of the preview I was in. I was like, yes, get me in here, coach.
Yashikai, we got a good script writer, got a good team working on this one.
Yeah, it's comfy DIY building furniture with friends in like the backyard, but the backyard is like behind a school. I really like how it looks. It is like probably like one of the best looking like Iyashikei in terms of like the general art style and the vibe it's going for. Like I think I've seen in a while. It is like the backgrounds are so pretty. Like I don't know how they do it. There's like a finish. There's like a veneer on everything that makes it look like almost like painting like. There's something about it, but the visual style is like gorgeous to me. Like there's a lot of like really nice framed shots in the preview. There's a lot of nice camera angles. They really like bring out the like little things in the scenes, like even in that like tiny preview. I like how diverse the character designs are.
When you do this genre of anime, you have to like put all your chips on the character designs, because it's like that's what's going to be carrying pretty much the entire show.
Yeah, and they went in because we have like a very diverse looking cast. There's not a lot of character designs that are really like conventional. I guess like the most conventional one is like the glasses girl in this one, but I'm not gonna complain because it's like it's such a good design philosophy. You know me. I'm not gonna complain about that. The main character is like got her big like a hoge, and she's got like the band-aids on her face all the time. And everyone seems to have like a very diverse personality, and like they got like voices that are all very like distinct. Even like from the trailer, I could sort of like feel the characters coming through individually, and they would have these shots where everyone's like in the same picture, and they like it has like a good group gel. You know you have good character designs when you can throw like all 6 of your characters into like the single picture and it just like works. Like there's like a balance that's being like maintained, and like you see it and you're like, yes, that's it, that's perfect. It's just impressive to see like a original Iyashikei being produced. Like I feel like that's not an original anime project that a lot of studios would try to jump on, something like this that seems a lot more subtle and laid back. I think I'm gonna enjoy this one. I feel like I'm probably gonna watch the whole thing. I feel like I would be surprised if I didn't like it.
I do like me my Yuru Camp stuff, so I'm like, oh, might as well give this one a shot. Now on the flip side, I wasn't even aware of this next one, but I think this one's probably not on either of our curiosity lists. A good old Eternal Boys.
I feel like I maybe wasn't going to talk about this one, but I was like, no, I want to talk about every original anime project. Like if it had original in the source, I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna talk about it. And so I saw this one and I'm like, okay, it's original, why not? I'll take a crack at it. It just doesn't feel like they're committing to their own concept. It's the old guy, and then he's turning into like the pretty like shonen like idol boy guy. But they don't even look that much different. They just kind of like moe'd his eyes and put sparkles in the background and gave him like a Photoshop smile. But I don't feel like an age difference. Like I just feel like
I don't know if that's like supposed to be the joke or if it's just not gonna be a good one.
Like the whole thing is like they're like middle-aged men like that are like in their late 30s and 40s that are like getting recruited to do an idol group. And like on paper, I feel like that is a premise that could work. You could sell me on that premise. Like there's a dude who's like 39 and he just looks like some dude in college with glasses. You can't sell me on middle-aged men in an idol group if I can't even like believe they're middle-aged. I feel like they were too afraid to make them too old, so they couldn't make them like pretty like boy idols. I don't know.
Alright, so this one's going in my fucking trash bin immediately. Eminence and Shadow.
Nah, it's not happening.
No.
No way. No way. Fucking nothing
No.
personnel kid the anime. No. No.
They're trying to like dress it up as something unique, but it looks like I'm watching like Boneless Akame got Killed or something. I don't know. It's like I can't even give it a curiosity watch. It's weird because it seems like it's gonna be like one of the more popular anime, but it's like this is not made for people like us. This is made for teenagers.
No, it irks me so much because it wants to poke fun at like isekai tropes while like shamelessly like bathing in them at the same time. Yo, funny power fantasy. He runs into the truck and dies on purpose so he can become magical power fantasy dude when he gets reborn. And suddenly he's making up bullshit, but that shit he's making up is coming true? What the fuck, bros?
I think that just ruins it by itself. It's like it would have been a lot funnier if like the entire show is just him like making up missions that are completely pointless, but everyone else thinks they're doing something. It's like if they become true, then you're just making like a boring action fantasy anime.
It almost wants to be parody, but it can't even commit to the idea of parodying its own genre.
It doesn't really matter. Like, they have these little gags where he's like, oh, I have twisted thoughts sometimes. I do things that are not morally correct. And it's like, well, he acts like just a normal, like, action protagonist. With a premise like this, you can tell it's just gonna turn into like the comedy's gonna go away as it takes itself more seriously, and it's just gonna devolve into like boring action anime. Like,
the comedy's gonna die at some point. This is like a ruse. I'm not getting rused, okay? Like, I'm not a fool. I'm not gonna have them ruse me with this poor comedy tripe.
Oh boy, my favorite's coming up though. We got Futoku no Guild.
Y'all fucking wanna jack off or something?
So, okay, the funny thing about this one was, I knew nothing about this when I was going into it. I just saw, I'm like, oh, this looks like some dumb fantasy show. And then I went to the manga and it's like tagged as adult. And I'm like, what is this thing? So I go into this and I'm like, oh. I'm reading through the manga, I'm like, okay, it's one of these shows. And it's like, here's your, like, GIF compilation to spread this show around. And then I looked up at, like, all the staff credits, and I'm like, it all makes sense now. It's like, we got the whole, like, redo of Healer staff on this one. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it now. Redo of Healer has novelty for, like, 4 episodes before it just gets stuck on loop. This one is immediately stuck on loop from, like, the start.
That's because they start off with the cat girl martial artist, and, like, they already blow her fucking shtick, like, at the beginning. Like, she's already getting, pardon my language, ladies and gentlemen, she's already getting her, like, pussy sucked by, like, slimes and shit. They're not even edging. Like, they're not even foreplaying this shit. They're just going all in. There's no class. You know, they're not building up to the pussy eating. Where's the tension?
Redo of Healer could save it for like 3 or 4 episodes. This one is like, nah, it's like the first scene. It's all we got.
They had to bang it out immediately, and it's just like, it's very obvious. Like, where are the interests lie on this one?
This is definitely one that I'm like, I gotta see the one episode. I have to know. And then after that, it's like, yeah.
Oh, one and done it, fine.
It's like, you gotta know. It's like, how stupid is it gonna be?
I want to know how much they censor it. Like, that's the big one. I need to see, like, the censorship level.
Yeah, the thing about Futoku no Guild, if they just told me straight up, alright, this is gonna be censored, you're not gonna see anything, I'm like, well, then there's literally no content in the show, because that's the only thing that happens in this fucking manga.
Yeah.
And that, if I knew ahead of time, then I'd be like, well, I just passed. But it's like, it's the redo of Healer Studios.
Not only that, but they got, the character designer is the madman who directed Saikon no Quasar, Manyu Hikensho, Valkyrie Drive Mermaid. These are all incredibly horny
fan service
fetish loaded anime.
All anime
with
loaded
nipples fully bared out. like breast milk fully deployed. Like, I'm talking
nipple puffing animations.
I'm talking I'm talking true,
all the good stuff,
like uncensored depravity. Like, they're gonna bring this like deranged guy onto this anime and they're gonna censor it. Like, I feel like that is a foolish errand if they don't bring this one to the table.
This anime, as stupid as it is, it has like the all-star depravity crew on it. Like, it could not have a better staff on this one.
They have to really go all in. Like, if they go any short of all in, like, I feel like it's over. Like, they'll lose the game from episode 1. And
it's just hilarious because one thing I'm betting, like, I'm saying this show is going to have, like, an astronomically high drop rate on it. Yeah. Everyone is going to, like, hot drop this shit after 2 episodes. Like, people were all dropping Redo of Healer after episode like 3 or 4. This one's like 2 episodes, everyone's gone.
Oh yeah, it's a twofer.
Yeah, because this one, unlike Redo of Healer, doesn't have a story or anything. It's just gag recycle. So I'm like, Also, no one wants to watch fucking bestiality shit. Like, come on.
No.
Come on, bro. Not even Redo of Healer was doing that.
No, yeah, there is a lot of bestiality shit. Like, the fucking, like, when they have the fucking, like, rabbits, like, literally motorboating that girl's tits. I was just like, are you serious, dude?
This next one actually looks like it's gonna be fun, though. For a little bit, at the very least. It's the Gyaru anime.
Yeah. Fufuijo Koibito Miman. That was an interesting one to read the first volume of. It gave me a lot of vibes of different things I have watched combined together.
It doesn't look bad though, is what
No.
I'm seeing. It's taking the ideas from the other kind of rom-com trash, and it's like, well, we're gonna try something that might actually work.
It's like someone read Koi to Uso and said, man, I can fix this. Because it's like the same weird, like, ultra reality, like, this is a situation that would never happen. Like this class where you have to like live with a girl or whatever, and like fake married life to graduate from school. Like this shit would never happen. Like it could not happen. It could not happen.
I was a little worried when I saw that. I'm like, oh god, we're going Nisekoi style on this. Is that like they have the cameras on them, so they have to like pretend to like each other? But I think the cameras it only applies when they're in that one room, so it's not like Nisekoi where literally everywhere they are, they have like people watching them.
Yeah, and I think the implication was that they weren't like actually monitored, I guess. There was like an automated system that was able to like, yeah, some sort of AI thing. I mean, it's a suspense of disbelief mechanic, but you know, whatever. Like I don't need the lore to be that deep on this one. I don't need them to sell me on the cameras being automated. It's whatever. I'll accept it. They don't want voyeurism.
Already, though, I like the MC of this one, like, way fucking better than the other stuff I usually see in this genre.
Yeah, that was, like, a big thing. Like, going back to the Koi to Uso, like, setup, it was, like, almost the exact same thing with a different spin. You turn 16 and you get, like, a government-mandated GF. Here's your GF for the rest of your life. And it's like, okay, sure. First off, I've talked about this. It is a tried and true, understood concept. Childhood friend is a nerf. It is a romance nerf. I cannot think of a single romance anime where the childhood friend won.
I know one. God damn it. Little Busters.
Okay.
Little Busters is the only one. But this show looks cute. I like it. I like the character designs. I'm like, it's got like a low stakes kind of setting going on. Like this isn't the end of their lives. It's like a weird school thing that only lasts for a year or something. So it's like it has places to go.
Yeah, it's like the exam thing. Like, yeah, it's a temporary thing, and we're seeing like the extent of that on sort of like a day by day basis in a sense. But yeah, I do like the characters. I do like the main character. He is a character who seems like he has his own thought processes. It seems like a main character who's like driven.
He's not terminally afraid of women, which is the big pull here, I think.
No, yeah, like there was like, you know, there was even like a scene, I think near the end of the first volume, where he had to go and talk to like the Gyaru girl because they had like a very awkward situation, and like he had to take that initiative and actually like be like honest about like how he was feeling and like really address those things in like communication. And I was like actually surprised to see like that level of care to put into like a concept like this. They have that maturity aspect to like the romance and the situation. Like there's not a lot of like cheapness to it. Like it feels like the characters are like fleshed. Like they feel like real characters who have their own motivations and thoughts.
It has a potential, like if the adaptation's good, it could be like one of the better ones from, one, it could be one of the better ones from the season, and two, it could be one of the better ones of the whole genre itself.
Yeah, if it lands, they could go for it. They've got some interesting people working on this. I know they have like ex-Zebek people, because this is one of the like ex-Zebek studios where a bunch of like Zebek dudes ditched when Zebek died in 2019. They had the dude who wrote both Spice and Wolf seasons. That's one where you really had to go hard on the writing because it's very subtle.
We got some seasoned romance writers in here.
Yeah, we got some good romance writers. We got good comedy writer. You know, we got someone with some balance. We got some balance on the staff here working on the anime. So you know they could nail it. It goes to show any kind of premise can be done right with the right people involved. So I'm interested to see how they set this one up.
Next one, we got another another fantasy anime coming up here. I'm the villainess, so I'm taming the final boss. This one I feel like I'm gonna one and done this.
It is definitely feeling like a one and done. It is definitely, out of all the like isekai fantasy stuff this season, I think this is the most palatable, if only because it is a little bit more novel for it to try to do this like VN like dating sim thing. It's like I'm like the doomed character in a dating sim. Like, that is, like, okay. I can kind of, appreciate the, like, obtuseness of that idea. It's just, in the long run, what are we seeing out of this? Because, like, the early stuff, I saw a couple things where it was like, you know what, this is kind of cute, or like, this is kind of funny, or like, there was like a couple of like little bits in there where I was like, you know what, I can see like kind of what they're going for, but like the stability, like I felt the shakiness of the like foundation, like it's not, it can't hold.
The core premise of just like, oh, the girl needs to get like all romantic with the demon lord, like that's really easy to understand, but the whole setup behind it is so unnecessarily complicated.
Yeah, and they really have to like sell the whole dating sim thing with like Keima Kaminomi-esque shit, like, if I have to do this choice on this route, then I'm going to get this ending. But if I go back and do this choice on this route, then I'm going to get this event, and this flag's going to go up, and then I'm only going to have this choices to get this flag on this route, on this flag, on this choice, on this route, and I don't want to deal with that. And it's just like, no, you're going to give me a headache if you keep doing this. I get it. You're in a dating sim.
My other problem that I can already tell that this is going on a downhill slope is that there's way, way, way too many characters introduced in this story, like, immediately. There's so many, and they just keep introducing more people and more people and more elements, and I'm like, oh my god, slow down. We don't need all this shit. So it's like, I would be shocked if this one lasts past one episode, but I like the main character. I think the Demon Lord character is nice, so I'm like, well, that could work out, but all the other stuff that's like tied up to them is just like, oh god.
Yeah, it's like, is it like strong enough? And on top of that, like, the anime adaptation, it didn't look super promising, just from like a visual standpoint. So I don't know, maybe if they can capture the right elements of it, it could be something, but I don't know. I'm not hugely optimistic of that one episode selling me.
We got another trash core anime coming up. It's I somehow gotten stronger when I improved my farm-related skills.
No.
Oh my god.
No.
This is recycle bin
No.
for both of us immediately.
No. No.
This is like worst anime of the season. This is your chaos dragon of the season. This is gonna be terrible.
I'll go get my fishing up to like 100 in RuneScape or whatever. It would be more exciting to do that than watch this.
If it was just like a shitty gag anime, it would be like 100 times better than what it's actually going for here.
Oh, it's just so... Like, that's kind of what I thought, because he fucking, like, threw a carrot at a dragon and it, like, imploded.
Yeah, I thought it was just gonna be like One Punch Man, like Slime 300 thing, where it's just like, oh, the main character's OP, they just want to relax, but they kill like super crazy stuff. I thought it was just gonna be Slime 300 with a male protagonist, but I was fucking wrong.
Yeah, I just thought like it was gonna be like a dude wants to like sit on his farm and just tend to crops and shit, but like people keep showing up and trying to like drag him into stupid shit. I feel like there could have been some promise to that premise, but then I just got to like the plot and I'm like, no, why?
It's trying to be like a fantasy drama action show, and I'm like, what the fuck?
With this guy? Like, no.
The worst MC of the season award goes to...
Like, you can't be serious. Like, that's not gonna work. And it didn't help that this anime just looked like shit. Like, it just, like, the preview did not do it any favors at all. Like, it genuinely looked like garbage. Like, I was actually appalled. Like, it wasn't enough that the source material was like, oh, no. And then I go to the fucking preview, and it's just like, I'm seeing, like, ugliness already. Like, I'm seeing, like, they forgot to put a couple of the keyframes in there, and it's just, like, some dude, like, skipping around. I get bad vibes. I feel like the last anime I watched that had that shit like that in it was, like, Taboo Tattoo, and that was a nightmare. I ain't touching that. I'm getting nowhere near that.
I'm already placing my bets. This is gonna have like a 40% average on Analyst or something. Like, this is gonna be terrible.
It's gonna be ugly. Oh my god, just put it out of its misery.
This next one is Concole Season 2.
This one is just like, I wanted to bring this up just because I found it humorous, I guess. I found it just funny that it's happening at all. Like, I don't know, there's just humor in its existence to me. This should have never happened when it didn't happen like a year later after the first anime aired. Because that shit aired in 2015, like early, and that was already late, in my opinion, for the series' popularity. Like, it wasn't like out yet. Like, if the anime had come in like 2013, I feel like they would have been striking when the iron was like red hot, right? it ain't dead in the water, but like Concole was like it had like close to like Toho notoriety at one point.
And even the OP for the anime was like really popular too.
Yeah, it was incredibly popular. And you know, it had like the peak of its popularity going in, and they do this one anime, and you know, it kind of just does what it needed to do, maybe a little late, but it did it while it was still relevant enough. And then they immediately without even a delay, it was like literally when the last episode aired, they're like, yeah, season 2's coming, guys. Let's fucking go. It's like, we're not getting off the Kantai Collection train yet. They're doing it 7 years later. Kantai Collection is not even like close to like the notoriety it had anymore. Like, it had its day in the sun. It's just like, you're doing it now? And like, it's only 8 episodes long. I mean, if they could do like a condensed story in 8 episodes that works, like brevity is the soul of wit, as someone said, whoever the fuck said that. If they can do something good in 8 episodes, why the hell not? But it's also like, it's still like Kantai Collection. Like, I don't really know how like hard, like I don't know how hard the Kantai Collection narrative really goes. I'm not a Kantai Collection player. I don't know. I only know what I've seen from the anime and the movie. But like most people, I kind of watch those for like the characters. So like, what are they gonna offer up in this one? Like, I already recognize characters I like in this one that weren't in the first anime. Like Hamikaze's in this one, and Shigure's in this one. You know, they got some choice picks from the cast that even I remember. But it's just like, why so late? Like, what happened? Obviously, I'm gonna like give it a gander because I'm morbidly curious to see like what 7 years of waiting amounts to in like Kantai Collection quality. It doesn't even look like it's going to be connected to the previous stuff, but God, who knows? It doesn't even matter.
My master has no tail. I'm going to give this a curiosity one and done, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to give it a shot.
It's not going to translate to like subtitled anime, I don't think. It's like, it's too dense.
If they I don't know, like if the translators were smart enough to like pull the work that has been done for them from like the manga translation.
Yeah, this did have an official English serialization, unbelievably.
It did, and I actually found the scans for it, so I read the first volume of the published version, which had translation notes. It had explanation pages that like explained concepts and shit. It was actually pretty informative, and also the dialogue wasn't weird and awkward and made my brain hurt. Now, if the translators were paid enough to look at that and take notes from that to do the translation for this anime, maybe we would get something good out of it. I'm not optimistic. I mean, fucking with Joshiraku, like, we were lucky enough to at least get fan subs that were half decent, and they had to take months of delaying to even get those out. And then it took, like, almost 9 years for someone to come out with like a definitive fan sub version. Like, they went so hard that they like made like pop-up boxes that sort of explained jokes, but they were like mimicking boxes that actually showed up in the actual anime. They were putting like on-screen shit that looked like it was in the anime originally, but it wasn't. Like, they went to that level of detail. You don't get that from anyone other than like impassioned creators who want to like do the best for the thing they like. And you're not getting that out of speed subbers, because like we're in 2022 now, and back when Joshiraku came out in like 2013 or 2012, it was 2012.
Yeah, 10 years ago, you know,
yeah,
no big deal.
Back when it came out in 2012, like, I don't even think Joshiraku got picked up by anything. Like, it was not picked up for a seasonal show. That's why we had to wait for fan subs. But now we're in the era where they will just do anything, even if the subs suck. They will just do it because they got to get it out there. Can I really put my faith on this one?
This is clearly an adaptation that needs much TLC in order to make it palatable, but like, oh my god, I don't think it's possible. It's so deeply woven with the Rakugo style of storytelling that it's like it won't work in English.
Yeah,
because
they're even pulling out like classic Rakugo stories that are like traditional. The mangaka like clearly like has a passion for Rakugo, and clearly has a passion for like exploring that medium through a story that has some, some supernatural elements that are also culturally relevant, of course. They've got, it's taking place in Osaka, you have your, like, tanuki, you got your kitsune, you got your supernatural, you got your yokai. They're throwing in a lot of the cultural elements, and it really seems like a story where they're capitalizing on those in, like, a fun and a semi-comedic way, but still, like, really pushing hard on the, like, the love and the passion for the medium. This is, like, this is all Rakugo, like, we're in now. So, like, if I watch the one episode and the subs break my brain in half, it's gonna be like an anime I watch 3 years from now. A fan sub group's gonna drop, like, a definitive version, and I'm gonna watch it, and hopefully I'll enjoy it. But otherwise, I could probably just read the official manga publication, because it seems like the TLC on that is actually pretty good.
But if you as a viewer are able to comprehend like all the references and humor being made in the show, you probably don't need subs to begin with.
yeah, probably not.
Next one's a little bit more straightforward. Play it cool, guys. It's just one of the extremely rare only times I think I'm ever gonna take a look at a cute boys anime.
They got something. It really just depends on how they execute it, because we're dealing with, like, a bit more of a subtle humor here. We're dealing with a bit more of a relatable humor here. It's like you got these guys who, like, they seem like, they're semi-fashionable, semi-together. They feel like they're just doing it good, but in reality they're, like, totally brain scrambled. Like, they're just tripping over themselves all the damn time, and it's like in, like, relatable ways. It's not in, like, the fucking chaos ways that you could have done in other anime with boys just kind of tripping over themselves.
There's some things in the manga that I think that would be able to translate well to the anime, which is the way it transitions between, like, every chapter. It will shift the focus over from one character to the next. You get pretty equal distribution of every character in this, and they all have, like, their own unique personality, and a lot of times they switch over because they will, like, bump into each other somewhere, and then it'll pass the baton over to the next character.
Right, I did like that too, and that does sit very well for anime, because they can literally kind of do that in a one slick motion.
And from what I remember, looking at the staff for this, I think they had some pretty good staff working on this too, so I think this one's, like, it's all in the clear for, like, yeah, this is probably gonna be good.
They had some interesting ones. I remember, I know the director, it's the director who did Higurashi, like the Dean Higurashi. That was, like, the one thing I know her for. I know she did other stuff, but that's the one thing I always go to. The scriptwriter was the big one for me, Makoto Uezu, because this is the guy who did scriptwriting for Konosuba all seasons. He did Jinrui wa Suita Shimashita, Humanity Has Declined, which is an anime I really like, because it's underrated. He did the scriptwriting for Carnival Phantasm. He did School Days, baby. That's right.
The classic.
And of course, and I said most importantly for me, he did the scriptwriting for Katana Gatari. I feel like there's got to be something good that comes out of this. I feel like it'll be enjoyable. It has to be enjoyable. I'll give it a chance. I'm willing to give it a chance. Plus, I think the episodes are, like, 15 minutes long or something, which is, like, nice. It's, like, nice and edible, right? Like, it doesn't overstay its welcome, and I feel like that'll probably work in its favor.
All right, moving on to our next one. Another cat girl slave anime. It's reincarnated as a sword. I was expecting this to be a lot worse, because, okay, at the start, the whole sword backstory of, like, oh, I'm a sword now, I'm just gonna start farming XP, that's basically the same exact start as, like, Tensura. It becomes more clear that it's, like, the sword is not supposed to be, like, the main focus of the anime, because it's the cat girl. This is a cat girl anime. Yeah,
it's why they made this, like, the character who is the sword so deliberately, like, not even, like, a character, really.
This is like a fake isekai. Like, Slime 300 is another fake isekai. It's where the backstory, like, has no effect on the actual story itself.
He just got run over by some dude's car randomly. We don't really know anything else, and he turned to a sword. Like, his story never mattered from the start.
The only problem is I don't know if this show has anywhere to go where it's like, yeah, it's not terrible, but the same problem I had with Tensura, where it's like, okay, these characters aren't, like, terrible or anything, but it doesn't really have anywhere to go, so it just kind of makes it up as it goes along. This one kind of seems like it's going to do the same thing, but
it's definitely a setup that can meander a lot, and it would have to be carried by, like, strong dynamics in the cast.
The main thing I'm seeing here, it's like, cat girl, cute! But beyond that, I'm like, okay, but now what? Like, I just have to watch her beat shit it up with a sword for the rest of the show. Because I'm afraid to even like put this on my list at all, because I'm afraid I'm gonna get like tense or suckered in, where I'm just waiting and waiting for something to happen, and then just nothing ever happens. This is one that I feel like is gonna make it to 3 episodes, and then I'm gonna be like, okay, I've seen enough. It's a tough call. It's like, it's getting eliminated. It's just a matter of like how soon. I don't think there's anything in the first episode they could do. They don't really introduce any new characters.
Nah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not
binning it.
No, I'm binning it. I have to go with my gut here and let it go. Just sometimes you just gotta let them go.
There's gonna be nothing. I don't know what I'm expecting. There's gonna be nothing in this show for me, but I'm gonna watch it.
Let's go to the next one.
Renai flops. I'm gonna watch this one.
I'm totally on this one, baby. It's gonna be trash. I gotta see this one. It has
This is the trash that you gotta see.
Like, come on, man. They are doing, like, it just is so fucked to me. They are doing an anime original, like, harem that just, like, the premise is so shady.
It's also the one, like, anime of this style this season. Like, there's not, like, a ton of these.
No.
This is just the one.
It is the one, and it's just, like, there's no basis. Like, there's nothing to go on here. We have, like, a very, like, diverse, colorful cast. This main character who could go either way, honestly. And there's like a weird mascot character. They're in like a weird futuristic city with like a radio tower or something. What does flops mean?
Why is it called Love Flops?
Why is it? What is the flops part? Like he has like this unlucky streak on the way to school or something. Like, what's the deal with that? Is there like some Truman Show shit going on here? Like, what's the deal? Like, I feel like there's a catch. Like, it's like itching at me. Like, there's something here.
I feel like this is the only one on the list so far where it's like you truly do not know what you're gonna get from this one. Like, the other ones you can just infer, like, okay, I get it. I get what's going on. This one is like, what the fuck is this?
You can really only assume so much, both with what's being presented. Like, even then, it doesn't feel like I know enough. And I'm like, I'm itching. Like, I'm like, what are they doing with this? Like, is this just gonna be a harem with decent character designs that doesn't do anything? Or is there just some fucking goofball shit?
You never know. Sometimes these kind of shows they know how to hook you in with the right amount of weird shit to like keep you watching it too.
Like, if they can do a fucking anime original harem and actually make it work, I would be genuinely impressed. Up next, Shinmai Renkin Jutsushi no Tenpo Kei. There you go.
Yeah, this is your cutesy fucking fantasy show this season. It's like if you want your just pure cute girls doing cute things anime, like the other ones just don't cut it. Here's your basic bitch like cute girl anime of the season.
No, it's just like I can't. Like, I already have Do It Yourself, which already is giving me so much in that department. Like, why would I settle for this? Like, it just...
This is B-Man immediately punching out of this one here.
No, I just like it. Character designs don't really sell me. It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy setting.
One of many this season.
Like, yeah, it's got like a fantasy shop, but like there's so much in the preview was them like fighting and gathering materials and stuff. I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. I wasn't vibing with it. I don't think so.
Look, if B-Man isn't willing to give it a shot, that's how you know this thing is not going to be good. But I don't know. I'll give it my one and done. I'll put it on my one and done list so I can report back and be like, yep, it's shit. There's only a handful of cute girl shows that end up winning me over anyways, so putting this on the list is kind of like, it's basically doomed to die, even if it's like passable.
The studio's already spreading themselves thin. Obviously they're doing Uzaki season 2.
Also a fucking light novel adaptation. Light novels always have the same story beats every single time, and it's so easy for it to just fall apart. Even if it's a basic cute girl show, like I've watched cute girl light novel adaptations. That's how you run into shit like MM or Jabu or whatever. Varying levels of quality, but very similar types of garbage coming out of them. So this next one is absolutely going in my recycle bin immediately. Shinobi no Itoki. How about fucking no thank you? This looks fucking terrible.
It just like...
This looks horrible.
I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what the poll for this one is. Like, They're doing like the Shinobi Ninja Academy, but it's like modern. They got like high-tech super suits. They got like fucking James Bond gadgets, but they're ninja gadgets. There's some fucking people yelling and crying and shitting, and it's like, okay.
This looks like a disaster. It's like the scriptwriter has no previous credits at all. I looked at the character list. There's like 30 characters listed. I'm like, yeah, no, this is doomed. This is fucking doomed immediately.
The director's done like nothing of note. The scriptwriter is like brand new. It's an original anime by a studio that's already rocky. And it just like the concept is like, what is the deal? If it's just they're ninjas but they have technology, I don't know. I could have watched Release the Spice again. At least that had the Yuri mangaka and the character designs. There's nothing here.
All right, finally we are on the last one, and this one, on the contrary, it looks like it's actually going to be pretty goddamn good. We got Urusei Yatsura.
They're already dealing with iconic source material. Like, we're dealing with, OG, rom-com wackiness. We're dealing with Rumiko Takahashi, OG, this was her first published manga. We're talking the Ranma 1/2, Inuyasha, like the hits. They brought in David Production. We all know David Production is the JoJo studio. They were already dealing with a manga that started in the 80s, so they already have, experience with trying to bring an old manga into a modern animation industry, and they already knocked it out of the park. Here they are, and they're going at it again. And yeah, I mean, they've got good people on this. They got a co-directing job going on. One of them is like an ex-Sebek director, which I was surprised to see. And the other guy had directed a lot of weird stuff, including like a Doga Kobo anime that I feel like only I remember, Sancha Sanyo. Yeah, those two guys, they co-directed the JoJo Part 5 anime, which I really liked. I thought it was really impressive, a really good, tried and true adaptation. Really brought forth like the best parts of the source material, was really faithful to the original vibe of the story. Like, they were capturing like really eccentric elements, boiling them down to like their basest qualities and then reconstructing them into anime form and like still maintaining that. And I feel like if they can do that, if they can do Araki weirdness, surely they can do rom-com weirdness with Urusei Yatsura.
I mean, you got two things going for it. This is a classic. It's like a rom-com. So basically all it needs to do is just be cute, which is not particularly difficult.
No, and like, you already got a lot of cute character designs in the anime. It's fucking goofball tier anime with your like lecherous like lady killer protag who's always getting his ass beaten because he's always like double timing. They picked a good character designer for this. I always forget their name. Naoyuki Asano. Because that was the guy who did Osamatsu-san.
Oh yeah, and that one blew up in popularity for a hot minute.
Yeah, and Osamatsu-san was based off of an 80s manga, so we're talking 80s designs again. Actually, sorry, I said 80s. I think Osamatsu-san is like based on a 60s manga. I'm pretty sure it's been around since like the black and white era of TV. So I think there was an anime adaptation in the 80s. So then the newer one, which aired sometime in the mid-2010s, was kind of like a spiritual like modernization of that. And there was a lot of praise for them bringing those character designs sort of into the modern time, really doing them justice, really capturing the elements of such an old franchise. And bringing that guy on to do, once again, adapt character designs from a manga from the 80s with distinct character designs and a style, like, that was really smart. Like, they really got people on this project who had worked with old material and was able to make that old material work and breathe and feel good with modern anime, stylings and structures without losing the core elements. And I feel like they constructed this team, like, so deliberately. I already like what I see of how the character designs look. It looks like the animation's going to look really nice. They've got some really nice animation work on this. I think they're going to really bring out the best parts. They got the scriptwriter who did fucking Asobi Asobase. So we already got someone who already did weird-ass absurdist comedy shit. Like, getting someone like that to do, like, a classic, like, absurdist rom-com, like, everyone's slotted into place. Like, I'd be surprised if this wasn't, like, a truly, like, faithful adaptation that really, like, brings it back to new life in a modern setting. I think it's going to be really good.
So that sums up basically our preview of this. So looking at what shows we got on our list, we both ended up with 13 shows each, so that's like 13 one and dones to handle once everything starts airing. And so far, out of everything we have listed, there are 5 anime that got completely eliminated before the season even started, which would be Beast Tamer, Eternal Boys, Eminence in Shadow, Farm-related Skills, and Shinobi no Itoki. So this is a true elimination going on here.
It was. We got some of them out for the count, and not a moment too soon.
We definitely have a handful of stuff that is like guaranteed going to get knocked out on the first episode, but
yeah, there's some first rounders that are not going to make it for sure.
There are definitely some that are riding that line of like, well, maybe. So yeah, until then, that would be the end of this. So pray for your favorite anime to make it.
I got my hands together.
Because this elimination's gonna get fucking brutal on episode 1.
Man.
Shit is gonna drop like flies.
Yeah, because once like we get to see the first episode of these, like the veil that's separating us from like expectation to reality is gonna drop, and at that point everything's gonna come through.
It's gonna be the massacre. So get ready for that shit.
Oh man.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.